college. I know it doesn't look like me, but in my undergraduate and probably a little bit in my master's program, I was the sleeper in class that Carolyn was talking about. And it wasn't because I wanted to be sleeping. I think I have a little bit of a situation where I like to be engaged in learning, and I really do prefer to discuss content and learn through my peers. And I was an English major. And so, to my credit, my professors weren't really working on engaging me in classes as they were talking about literary prose. They did a lot of talking. So I did a lot of sleeping, and they probably saw mainly the top of my head. So I saw this picture, and it reminded me of myself, but I would have longer hair, obviously. And if you know me, better shoes, as you can see. So even in college, I wore high heels, even though I went to a school that was icy and lots of hills. I still wore high heels. So that would be me. So after that, after my education, my first formal college education, I made a vow, this is me vowing, to not do that to my students. Now, I was an English major, but I was also in secondary ed as well. So my education classes were fun. I never slept in those. Those were awesome. So I vowed that I would never create the sleepers in my class. And I'm actually very sensitive to that. When I see people sleeping, I'm thinking, oh, we got to do something. We got to get up and do something. And then, I felt like, as I've kind of gone into the world of more professional development, and I do teach, obviously, but in the world of professional development, I help faculty with, creating those engaging learning environments. And I thought, well, maybe it's asking too much to get those students engaged 100% of the time. Can we really do that unless we're doing, Cirque du Soleil tricks? But those are great back bends, aren't they? Oh, I wish I could do that. So let's talk about today's student. So when we think about getting them engaged, we want to think about what's relevant to them. Who are they? If we want to reach out to them and actually get them interested and not just see the tops of their head, like my faculty saw, who are they? What is relevant to them? So this is my babe, my 4-year-old. This is when she was about 2 years old, and she's on what she calls her iPad. But you see that there are quotes, right? These are my air quotes. There's quotes up there. That's my iPad with my name engraved on the back that she has confiscated as her own, because that's what they do, if any of you have kids out there. So this Christmas, we bought both of my kids each their own Android tablet, so and little 7-inchers, and so they have their own. But it's funny how this is still hers. I'm like, really? But, and I know this is a little far-fetched, but, she will eventually be one of our students. But this is what they are. We very rarely see them, right? They have their device in front of their face. This is relevant and engaging to them. They have, Google. They can, it's interesting to me. They never have to wonder about anything, do they? They can just Google it, right, and find the answers for things. So they're always in their devices. And this is what we do, right? Maybe not all of us. I haven't taught in the real classroom for a while. I've taught in my online virtual space, so I don't always have to worry about this. And I often wonder, would I have this in my class if I was teaching face-to-face currently? I don't do it in my workshops. I ask people actually to have their devices out because I usually engage them with them. But I think what happens when we create signs like this or when we have rules like this, a lot of it is, if there's testing, if there's assessment involved, we have to do it. But I think it's also the not knowing how to scale your ideas. So for me, I could see using mobile devices to answer polls and things like that, but I don't always think about, how can I scale that into a much larger, prevalent learning objective in my class. So I think that's part of it, is just not knowing how to do it. And, Jesus uses cell phones, so it's got to be okay, right? So this is when Lost and Found in the Wonderland of Mobile Learning comes in. This is a workshop, and I can't really see people, but by a show of hands, any of you attended this? I don't think I see any hands showing. Oh, I see one swinging. Oh, thanks for the light there. So Lost and Found in the Wonderland of Mobile Learning. This is the brainchild of Shelley Rodrigo. Not sure if any of you remember her. She's at Old Dominion University now. But she developed this workshop, and it's basically helping instructors understand how to engage mobile devices in their classrooms by doing it, by actually going through this event. You are actually learning it by doing it. It's called experiential learning, right? So it's the do. It's what you're going through and doing it. And it's funny, I always try and explain to people, you have to attend this event. We do this, we do that, blah, blah, blah. I ramble on, and they kind of just look at me like, okay. And I'm like, Shelly developed it. You have to attend. She's never made anything bad, as far as I know. It was an amazing event. So I always tell people, you just have to attend it. And then afterwards are the reflections of, oh, light bulbs everywhere. So, and again, you have to attend it. It's the experience, right? You can't tell somebody what it's like to ride a roller coaster. You just say, you got to buy the ticket, you got to ride the ride. Okay, you got to buy the ticket, you got to attend the workshop. So, basically, what is it? We had objectives. So, just like any good workshop, we had objectives. And there's many of them. We really wanted people to bring their mobile devices and engage in the content. We wanted them to understand multisensory learning. There's many of them. These are just a few. And we created groups. So after people registered and when they attended at the very beginning, we put them into groups. Look how happy they look. So happy. They brought their devices. Now, I love this picture because you can see, you guys see on the left-hand side, there's a little guy there, right? So one of our faculty members, when I was working at Gateway, said that she didn't know if she'd be able to attend the event because she wasn't sure if her husband was going to be in town or out of town. He's a pilot. He ended up being in town, but I had told her, I was like, bring your kids. They'll love this event. It's very engaging. And it's funny, the first time I attended the event, I brought my 2- and 4-year-old at the time along, and I'm like, and they had a great time. So she brought her kids, and you can see he has a device. He has a GPS device. Other people have iPads. They brought their phones. So this workshop is literally, you bring your device, and we told them, bring all your devices. You can decide which one you want to use while you go through the workshop. We plotted GPS locations of where they would go. So there were 4 stations where they would actually learn content. And this is at Gateway before the building was actually built. And it's funny, Shelly's telling me, she's like, I want them to walk. They've got to really use their GPS device. I want them to get lost, right? I want them to, get frustrated. I want them to really have to move. And I'm like, Shelly, it's at Gateway. I'm like, we have like 3 buildings. So I'm out one day, and I'm like, okay, what are the farthest reaching? And so then she's like, and we want them to be pretty. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, we have, like, the automotive department, and we have, most of Gateway's buildings are old warehouses. And I'm like, okay. So, eventually I put them out almost by the light rail stop, which we lost Wi-Fi connection over there, but we still had connection to mobile devices. But you can see we have the plot there of where we were going to put stations with information that they'd wander around and find and learn about. We gave them just enough information to hopefully get them a little bit lost, but hopefully get them to their location so that they could, digest the content that was at the station. We used QR codes, so folks were using their cell phones to scan or iPads if they had the cameras to scan and find their locations. People were really excited about QR codes. And since my daughters attended the first session, every time they see a QR code, they go bananas. They're like, Mom, QR code. There's actually QR codes on bananas, by the way, that it's bananas. So they're eating a banana. Mom, QR code. I'm like scanning everything. I'm like, geez. And then afterwards, so they went out in their groups with their mobile devices, finding their little locations and their stations where they had information and they were reading. Then they came back after the 4th station, the last information. Well, we didn't all call. We texted them all, come back. And they came back and we did a debrief. And basically, it was really cool because everybody came back and they were posting tweets to Twitter. They were posting images up because at the very beginning of the session, we had them set up accounts if they needed to, if they didn't have like a Flickr or a Twitter account. And so in the debrief, our wiki actually had RSS feeds that brought in all of the stuff that they had generated and any hashtags that had the hashtag for the workshop. So basically, they sat down and were like, this is what you created. Now, there were some technology snafus, which freaked me out. As an instructional designer, I'm like, everything has to be perfect. And Shelly's like, no, we want things to go bad. We want them to come back and say, we got lost, and my device didn't work. And one of the reports was there was no Wi-Fi out on the corner by the by the light rail. She's like, we want those. Those are teachable moments, because when they go back and try and use this in their own classrooms, they're going to have these issues, and we want them to be able to use them as teachable moments for their students as well. Because I think that's also part of the $15 fine for the cell phone in the classroom, is the fear of making mistakes. But we want people to understand that it's good to make mistakes, that you learn from those, right? So I was really astounded after I first attended the event. I was trying to kind of help Shelley develop the event, but for me it was so far-fetched I couldn't really understand it, so I really was attending the event. But we had some overall objectives, and one of the big ones was the multisensory learning experience. We want folks to understand that, walking out and around and being with groups and, the air and the location and the sounds that you hear help with recall later on. So that multisensory experience was really important. And we wanted them to know it wasn't just about you looking cool walking around with your iPad, right? We really want you to look at how can you get students to actually use it, not just carry it around and look cool. We want you to actually create things like the students that were up here at the beginning were talking about. We want them to look at them not just as digesting content devices. We want to use them as creation tools. But what was really cool was the unintended outcomes of the workshop. How many of the participants upgraded from their, what we affectionately call their dumb phones, to a smartphone? There was in the first event, there was 3 people who were like, I got to go out and get one of these smartphones. I want to scan barcode, QR codes. They're like my daughter's, QR code, I want to scan it. Can't do that with a dumb phone. But the really cool thing is the dumb phones still worked in the workshops. People were able to text. People were able to take pictures, and we had some options where they could call in to a number and record their voice and record some information for the workshop debrief. But an unintended outcome was definitely people trading up their devices. And the other one, which I thought was really neat, is we grouped them, but they created teams. They were bonded. They gave themselves team names. And they were coming back, and some of them thought it was a race, like who can get to the places first, get all the content, and come back. And we're like, it's, you have 2 hours, go have fun, right? But there were people that were, competitive, and they gave themselves team names. I thought that was really neat. And you can see how that would translate in a semester class, those bonds are important, right? Carolyn was talking about trust and that sort of thing. So that bonding is really important. Look at how happy they are. So this was actually one of the events that I did not attend. Shelley and I have done this workshop at several conferences, as well as twice in the district. Hopefully we'll bring it back here again. I'm trying to get it back. But these folks were in her Computers and Writing conference. It's an English conference. So they took a picture of one of their groups there. And this one is a cool one. So she is a former president of a university, the University of Central Florida, and she attended the event that we presented at the Innovations Conference in Philadelphia last year. And she was so engaged. She came and met with us, and she was like, I don't know about Twitter, and I don't know how to do this. So she she had a Twitter account, but she didn't use it very much. She attended the event. She was all excited about it, and I'm following all the people that I've added to that have attended these workshops. And she is on Twitter all the time, tweeting about different things. She's an editor of a journal now. So I thought that was really neat that even higher level administration, she was excited about getting involved in a workshop like this and what it did for learning. Another unintended outcome was a lot of the participants talked about the importance of the bridge between faculty and IT departments. And so they sat down, and we did it at EDUCAUSE this past year in Denver, and there was a group of administrators and faculty and IT department folks that were talking about how important it was to be connected on an event like this, to make sure that there's Wi-Fi available and that students can hook up to it and get what they need. So 2 things I'd like you to walk away from this talk with. Figure out where in the world it is this workshop is going to be next. And the best way to find that out is probably to contact me. I'm trying to get it at Mesa. We were going to do it this spring, but I had just started there new, and I have a lot of other things that I need to get going. So we're looking at when we're going to do that next and where it will be. It might be at a conference somewhere. So if you're interested, contact me, and I can tell you where in the world it will be. And think about, in whatever capacity you're responsible for people's learning, think about what they are going to do. So don't make them the top of the head sleeper. What are they going to do? Not what are you going to do, what are they going to do as they're learning? Thank you.